Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to Yakim and Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, Why Keep the Law If We're Under Grace? Once again, why keep the law if we're under grace? Now, this is kind of inspired by a lesson that was put out by a street teacher just recently, Elder Manata Zakba, GMS South Carolina. What channel was it? It's right here. It was a repost. It was called "Why Can't I Just Be Wicked If All the Israelites or if all Israelites will make it to the kingdom?" And he goes on to touch about it. Now, the other question, and that's, being wicked is against the law as well. But a lot of people, some of the Israelites might, they might try to pull the grace card. Oh, we're under grace. Or really, what it all goes back to is showing respect to the Lord. And a lot of people just don't respect the Lord. A lot of people don't fear the Lord, and they don't want to have anything to do with the Lord because they, they actively despise the Lord. And that's why there's so many scriptures we could get. We'll probably add a couple extras, but we're just gonna go through this and try to answer it to the best of our ability through the scriptures, and Lord willing, it will be edifying. So I'm gonna start up. I already had a scripture come to mind. I might lose it, but we are gonna start up with Romans 6:14 through 15. All right, just to prove the fact that we are under grace currently. Now, it says Romans 6:14 through 15, for sin shall not have, this is verse 14, for sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. Verse 15, what then? Shall we sin because we're not under the law, but under grace? Yahweh forbid. So what is this saying? It's saying, sin shouldn't have dominion over you. You're under the law. All right, you're not under the law, but you're under grace. All right, we're in a grace period right now. All right, because we can't keep the law perfectly. Now, to prove that we can't keep the law perfectly, we got to get this is we can get this right here. This is James 2:10. It says, for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. So you are guilty of all if you even break one commandment. Okay. Now there are 613 laws. Okay. So if you break any of these, okay, any of these laws, okay, you've broken them all. All right. And there are a lot of different laws here. And there's certain laws that you would never even know. For example, this is one we're constantly breaking: not to eat blood and not to eat the fat of a clean animal. For example, let's see. I can go to let's see. We can even try to find something healthy. Let's go to Sprouts. Okay. Let it do its thing. So you can find even something, healthier. If we go and get beef. Okay. Or beef jerky or something along those lines. Okay, look. Grass-fed beef. Come on, do your thing. I want to open. Let's see the ingredients. Well, it won't give us the back. Let's see. Come on. We'll get one with a. Let's go and see if we can find the nutritional label. All right, here it is. Let's see. Look, fat. 17 grams of fat. All right, 15% fat, 7% fat. We're not to be eating fat. Okay, when you go out and you eat a burger, it has fat and blood in it. Okay, now if you get kosher meat, which I've never had, I've heard it's overly salty and just awful. They basically salt it, and I'm sure we had a better way of doing it biblically. They just basically salt it to and do a couple things to soak out all the blood. And even then, I would think that there's still some blood in there, because they're not doing it the right way. All right, because they're not us, even though they're masquerading as to be. You know, and blood and fat and all sorts of different things. Okay, that's really hard to control. And even, all right, even if that you somehow manage to get meat. All right, let's say you don't eat meat. You don't eat meat. Okay, cool. Boom. You don't have to worry about that, right? You say, yeah, I don't eat meat, so I don't have to worry about that. Cool. Well, do you drink out of a water bottle, because that has fats in it, notably pig fat, all right, and other things, all right? What else? Let's see. Let's see if it's in here. Let's see. Let's see. Of course, no eating any of the unclean animals, right? There's another law that we would never even be able to keep unless we were farming ourselves. You're not supposed to eat like an animal that's died on its own, you know, that without being slaughtered. And at these slaughterhouses, you know damn well that they're not gonna waste any meat. You know, they probably just grind it up and throw it in. There's another one. Let's see. There's a lot of different things. You know, we can't get them all. There's 613 of them, but one of them is mixed fabrics. All right. Deuteronomy 22:11. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together. Okay, so you're not to be wearing mixed fabric garments. Okay, so you really everything needs to really be 100% pure. You know, cotton or wool or something along those lines. I'm just talking about regular clothing, not an actual biblical garment. But because a garment has to be cotton and a border of blue. So, and of course fringes as well. So, but everything we wear, a lot of it has polyester in it or elastic, or it's mixed. They're all mixed fabrics, which is going off. And as James 2:10 says, for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. So there are certain things that we can't really control. Okay. And you'll have super Israelite, they'll come by and say that he sews his clothes out of 100% cotton, and that he doesn't have any elastic, it's all drawstrings, and that he doesn't even, the only way he drinks water is by going out to the stream and getting pails of water and sipping it that way after he's boiled it and refined it himself, and he levitates, for 38 hours a day, right? And, or 77 hours a day, right? And just too much, trying to do much, and there's a scripture. I don't know if it's the same scripture. Let me go read it. That's not it. Lest any man should boast. Check it out. This is Ephesians 2:9. We only need to get 8. It says, for grace. This will work. Ephesians 2:8. And this is why, because you have super Israelites out there. Ephesians 2:8. For by grace are ye saved through faith. and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh. Okay, so keep in mind that, you know, we're not under the law, but we're under grace. But that doesn't mean we should willingly sin. And you know, you're gonna get all caught up. And why? But why? Because we're supposed to be showing respect to the Lord. That's all this is showing respect to the Lord. Okay, and we are saved by grace through faith. Okay, by gift of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because, you know, if it were any other way, you'd have these super Israelites, going on to verse 9, not of works, lest any man should boast. You know, I keep every law. No, you don't. All right? No, you don't. Okay? You're not going to be saved by keeping the law. All right? But you will die, all right, if you don't keep the law. There's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to it. And it's simple that we're not under the law because the Lord knows we can't. Look, to explain it lightly or simply, if we were under the law to the full extent, all right, none of us would make it. Okay, none of us would make it for the simple fact that our water bottles have pork in it. All right, I have water right next to me. Does that make me wicked? No. Doesn't make you wicked for drinking it either. The water bottle, you know, Esau has defiled everything, man. Has defiled everything. All the foods that, you know, shouldn't have pork in it have pork in it. You know, you go to get beef, all right, ground beef, and it probably has pork in it, you know, because it's cheap. You know, it's actually really, you know, they don't label it that way, but it's probably actually, you know, 60%, you know, 50%, even hell, probably even 40% beef, and the rest is just pork and turkey dicks and assholes and lips and armpits and shit, you know, and that's what they're putting in your food, and they're calling it, you know, 100% USDA grade A beef, and it's not even what it is, man. You know, I've seen studies on steak. You know, they're gluing steaks together. You know, that's not even a real steak. You go to get a steak, you're not even getting a real steak. You know, you go and get something. You think you're gonna have a nice steak, and you eating something like this, and it's all meat. It's all meat glue, man. It's all meat glue, and all this coloring's fake. They paint it. They paint the steaks red. You know. You know, you go and you get these things and you think, oh yeah, look, this is the steak, and they're not even real, man. You know, you got meat glue all throughout, you know, and it's just, and you can go and, are you eating fake steak? You know? And there's scraps of, you know, pork and beef and all sorts of things, and you fry them up and you call it a steak, and it's not even steak, man. It's not even steak. And then you'll ask that, and people will say, oh, it's tendons. That's tendons. Watch, let's go see what it has to say. Those are tendons. Those are tendons or veins. Not sure. No one really gave a good definitive answer on it, but, you know, you go and eat it and you say, oh yeah, this is beef. No, it's not. It's pork and, you know, part fish and all sorts of stuff, man. You know, and with certain steaks, you know, and they make it look like this, but, you know, they say this is original, this is reconstructed. They can make it look better than that. You know they can. You know they can. You know, Frankensteak, meat glue, look, you have this all glued together, and, you know, you get those cheap cuts. And hey, wherever you end up, you know, and look at this shit, man. It's just, look, it's nasty. But you eat it, and, you know, you think you're doing right, but you know, so we're under grace, all right. We're saved by grace, all right, through faith, as it says, right, in Ephesians 2:8. Because Esau has defiled this place so much. It is so defiled. It is so, you know, vile and wicked. We would not be able to eat. You know, everything that they put everything in. All right, there'd be no way we could make it. All right, there's no way we could make it. Okay. So we're under grace. All right, but at the same time, that doesn't mean we should just willingly sin. All right, yes, there's certain things that are, you know, we can't control, but that doesn't mean we should just willfully sin because this reason or that reason. Yes, our water bottles might have pork in it, but that doesn't mean you go out and you buy pork chops. All right, that doesn't mean you go and buy a cut of catfish, okay? Even if there might be some things in your water, even if they might, you know, be putting meat glue in. All right, we can only do to the best of our ability. That doesn't mean you go out of your way and you say, oh, well, it's already in my water bottle. It's already in this. It's already, my meat is already messed up. I might as well just eat pork. No, man. You got to put it, the Lord knows we're trying. That means, going back to Romans 6 and 14 through 15, verse 14, for sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace. And, a wicked ass ninja will be quick to jump and celebrate for something like that, but they won't read the next verse. Verse 15, what then? Shall we sin because we're not under the law, but under grace? Yahweh forbid. So we are under grace and we're not under the law, but that doesn't mean we can just sin willfully, right? As it says it right here. That doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want because we're under grace. Okay, you can't, what's the word? I can't really think of what I'm trying to say, but you can't, you can't be given an inch and take a mile. So let's continue on. It's like this cough drop's getting jagged as shit. So, John 14 and 15, we're going to go and get it. And it's all about showing reverence to the Lord. Okay, John 14 and 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. All right, this is red letters, so it's Yahushua speaking. If ye love me, keep my commandments. All right, Salaki with the dog yelping in the background. Seems like he's doing his thing again. So John 14 and 15, if you love me, keep my commandments. So if you love the Lord, what are you going to do? You're going to keep his commandments to what? The best of your ability, right? If you love the Lord. If you don't love the Lord, you're not going to do any of those things, right? That's a scripture that we're going to get a little bit later. So if you love the Lord, you're going to keep his commandments, as it says here in John 14 and 15. If you love me, keep my commandments. We do these things out of love. Okay, we are under grace, but it's the same matter as, if you don't keep the law, and you just do wickedness, the Lord will mess you up. And he knows what's within your control and not. He's not gonna put you to death because you drink out of a water bottle. Okay, because you drink out of a water bottle. Okay, because it might be defiled in certain ways, but you're not doing it willingly. Like, there's certain things we just can't control because Esau messes with the air, the environment, the temperature, the water, right? But you go out and you order a pork chop and some bacon, and you eat, the Lord will destroy you for that, man. The Lord will destroy you. You're not showing any reverence. You're not trying. You're not putting in an effort, man. You're just trying to coast on by and you want to do whatever you want to do. That's what it is at the end of the day. You don't care about the Lord, You don't care about the Lord. You want to do what you want to do because you don't love the Lord. You have no love for the Lord. You have no respect for the Lord. Okay? And then for some reason you expect him to love you and give you whatever you want when you won't do what the Lord wants. You people expect that the Lord should save you and do all this stuff for you, but you won't do anything for the Lord. What kind of hypocritical bullshit is that, man? You won't do anything for the Lord. He tells you to not eat so much as not eat a fish, and you're going to go ahead and eat it. You can't even do that, and you expect the Lord should do anything for you? John 14 and 22 through 25. Starting for 22. It says, Judas saith unto him, bear with me. Alright. The point is 23. So, John 14 and 22 through 25. Judas, start with 22 again, Slakia. Judas saith unto him, not Iscariot, Lord, how is it that thou wilt manifest thyself unto us and not unto the world? Verse 23, Yahushua answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. He that loveth me not, keepeth not my sayings, and the word which ye hear is not mine, but the Father's which sent me. These things have I spoken unto you, being yet present with you. So showing you, if you love the Lord, what are you going to do? If, like it says, verse 23, if a man love me, well, we'll read the whole verse. Yahushua answered and said unto him, if a man love me. So if you love the Lord, what are you going to do? He will keep my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. All right, an abode is like a home, is a house. Okay, so that's if you love the Lord. Now, what if you don't love the Lord? He that loveth me not keepeth not my sayings. What is the sayings? The sayings, are he and Yahushua did the work of the Father. Okay? And so keep not my sayings. So if you're not keeping his sayings, you're not keeping the Father's sayings, not keeping the commandments, not doing what you're told, not doing what you're commanded of, right? He that loveth me not keepeth not my sayings, and the word which ye hear is not mine, but the Father's which sent me. So there you go. It says, he that loveth me not keepeth not my sayings. And it goes on to say, and the word which ye hear is not mine, but the Father's which sent me. Okay? So showing you that, what Yahushua was and is, saying is of the Father. Okay? So if you don't like what Yahushua is saying, you don't like what Yahweh is saying. Okay? And Yahweh is the one who, gave the commandments to Moses. And even since then, Jake never liked them. Never liked them. All right, the commandments nor Yahweh. They didn't like it. They're ungrateful. All right, they were just unruly. Backsliding. There's so many different names. Unruly, backsliding. What's the other one? Sottish children. Rebellious and revolting generation. That's just how Israel is, man. And they won't do anything because they want to do what they want. Well, guess what, Jake? The situation we're in now in Babylon the Great, and you're over here bitching about reparations. We want reparations. We're persecuted. The cops are coming. Well, this is all because you wanted to be rebellious. Okay? That's why us, all right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are in bad situations, man. We're in bad situations. Why? Because we were going off, we weren't listening to the Lord, we were worshiping false gods, we were eating things we should not, we were doing things we should not, wearing things we should not, acting how we should. But, that's what Jake wants. And Jake still this day is being rebellious, man. Being rebellious. They don't want to come back to their true heritage. They don't want to read the Bible. That's a white man's book. You don't know anything, Jake. You don't know anything, man. You're lost. And our people love to stay lost. When you try to teach them the truth, you actually try to teach them something, all right? They don't want to hear it, all right? And it's not that you're teaching them. It's really through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And it's not that they don't want you to teach them. It's that they don't want to hear the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai because they want nothing to do with them, okay? And that's these people, man. That's, completely through. And these people think they know something. They go, our people are gone, man. Our people are really gone. We're supposed to be trusting the Lord. The only way to make it out of the situation that we're in is through the Lord, because who put us in this situation? The Lord. But Jake doesn't want to turn back to the Lord. They want to do Nation of Islam. They want to go and be Catholic. All right, they want to go and do weird moon and sun worship and weird shit. They don't ever want to do, they don't want to do the work of the Father or the will of the Father. They don't want to come back in their true heritage. They don't want to be, Israelites. They want to be Israelites, but they don't want to be Israelites, If they found out they were Israelites, they'd say, oh yeah, that's cool. They'd want to wear the fringes all day and all night. All right, but they wouldn't want to have to stop, they wouldn't want to have to put in effort. They wouldn't want to have to stop eating pork. They wouldn't want to have to stop doing catfish fries. They wouldn't want to stop committing adultery. They don't want to stop doing those things. They want to continue to do them because that's their culture. Your culture's a lie, Jake. It's been given to you by the Esau, the white man, all right, to destroy you, all right? So, all of our people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? If you look at our people, all of our shit's the same. They just got a different name for it. All right, the so-called Negroes got what? Ghettos. The so-called Mexicans or Latinos got what? Barrios. The so-called Native Americans got what? The res. And they're all the same place, man. Just a little bit different. That's all. Just a little bit different. Maybe it's the same sucker, just another flavor, man. That's it. And and you got our people, feeling happy to to come from those places. I'm from the ghetto, I'm from the barrio, I'm from the res, homes. It's it's wild, and to be proud about it and never wanting to leave the places, even though you saw your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your cousins all get shot up and die or overdose on drugs. All right, and our people have yet, they don't want to flee from that, and they say, oh, it's stuck. It is hard to leave, but anything, man, you don't want to, if anything, if you have to live in that situation, you have to live in that situation. I get it. Sometimes you can get stuck. But you shouldn't be advocating it, and if you ever do get a chance, you should leave immediately. There's these people, still go around, fuck around, these people get rich and they still go back to their old hoods and end up getting clapped up, right, because they went back, Completely ridiculous, and it's complete folly, and that's our people, man. They never learn. Our people just don't learn. This is Isaiah 33 and 22. It says, "For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, and the Lord is our king. He will save us." All right, the Lord's the only one that can get us out of here. We need to trust in him. All right, and he's our lawgiver. And what is a lawgiver? What is a lawgiver? I mean, it's right in the word. The one who, a lawgiver, a person who gives the law. Go into the definition.
Lawgiver.
A person who draws up and enacts laws. Okay? And he did enact laws. All right, but you didn't want to, follow them. Now you got to put yourself into a thinker's mindset here in Babylon the Great. What happens if you break the law? I'm not talking about the biblical law. What happens if you go? What if it's 40 miles per hour and you're going 100? All right, what happens if you smoke crack and it's against the law, or you try to sell it? What happens if you what's something else? What if you steal a car? All right. What if you shoot someone and kill that person? What happens? What happens? There's a repercussion. What is that repercussion? Jail, prison. All right. Depending on the place, you might even get the death penalty. So, if you're breaking the Lord's laws, what do you think there's going to be? Repercussions. And how do you think those things are going to be enacted? All sorts of ways, man. All sorts of ways. You might get into an accident and die. You might, fall off a cliff. You might get burnt up. You might have someone shoot you. You might get whacked in the head with a machete. You might, fall out of something. You might get trapped in some type of thing. You might have something crush you. There's so many different ways, man. The Lord he's the Lord. The Lord is the Lord, all right? He can take you out in any way he wants. It's much more fearful than a jail cell or a prison cell, okay? And Jake just doesn't care, man. At the end of the day, Jake just doesn't care. All right, that's what it is. Jake just doesn't care. And hey, you can go right ahead and not care. All right, but when the Lord messes you up, all right, and puts you in a fearful situation, you're going to start caring real quick. Okay, and it's going to be too late by then. There's a second Esdras 7, 20 through 25. Verse 20, "For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of Yahweh that is set before them. For Yahweh hath given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment." Verse 22, "Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things." Verse 23, "And deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways." Verse 24, "But his law have they despised, and denied his covenants. In his statutes have they not been faithful." Verse 25, "And therefore Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things." Okay, so there you go. The Lord gave you, a commandment, what you should do. All right, if you want to live, all right, and what to do if you want to observe punishment, right? But what did Jake do? The smart thing. You think they say, "Yes, Lord, that's absolutely right. We want to observe punishment." No, they didn't do that. All right, like it says in verse 22, "Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways." Verse 24, "But his law have they despised, and denied his covenants. In his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works." Once again, verse 25, "And therefore Esdras, for the empty are the empty things." "And therefore Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things." What is a covenant? All right, what is a covenant?
Covenant.
A covenant is an agreement, a contract, a treaty, a pact, a deal, right? An arrangement, all right? An understanding that was had, right? And that was had with the Israelites. But hey, what did they do? They denied them. They broke them, okay? They despised the law, okay? And that's the state of Jake, man. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in now. Because the Lord told us to do all these different things, and we didn't do them at all. And Jake thinks they have the ability to complain. That they have the ability to complain, and that something's being done wrong to us. No, the Lord. See, the thing is that the Lord with you guys, you expect the Lord to uphold His part of the bargain, but you won't expect yours. Why? If and it's hypocritical, man. Because if you're in a situation where you had a guy named Bill, and Bill's job was to, I don't know, mow the yard, all right? And your job was, you were gonna do the stonework, all right? And you were gonna lay the stones and make it look nice, all right, around the garden. You were gonna block in, build some a garden area, all right? And you know how they do with the stones. And then, you get there to show up to do your job, and all of a sudden, you look at the grass and the shit's not mowed. And then, Bill or whatever I named him as, what are you doing? Why isn't it done? Well, the grass has to be mowed to do this. Well, I'm still expecting you. No, the grass has to be mowed, and you didn't mow the grass. Well, you still have to uphold your part of the bargain. Well, you didn't uphold yours. So all of you Jakes are expecting salvation, all right, and you're expecting good things from the Lord, but you never even tried to change. You never even tried to get better, It's just mind-boggling, man. It's mind-boggling, Jake. You never even tried. Okay, we're not gonna be perfect, man. We're not gonna be perfect. That's why we're under grace, because we're not gonna be perfect. But you didn't even put in an effort. You didn't even try to stop eating pork. You didn't even try to put the cigarette down, or put the blunt down. You didn't even try. You just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And you must, and in that situation, or you kept eating pork and kept eating pork, you must not fear the Lord. Here it is, the Lord told you to not eat pork, and you're just eating it away. You must not fear the Lord, because if you feared the Lord, you would never do something like that, because you know what the Lord is capable of. But you're over here munching on a fucking pork chop. What's wrong with you, Jake? And it's just hypocritical, man. Jake, they expect the Lord to do all these things for them, but they don't want to do anything for the Lord, and it's disgusting, man. Psalms 119 and 4 through 6. Verse 4 says, Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments. Okay? You Jakes, man, really, you don't even care. You're not going to care about being ashamed until you really are ashamed. The chariots are coming back, and like street teacher said, like Elder Manata Zatba said in that lesson earlier, you knew all that, and then, you're going to see people getting brought up in those chariots, and you're not going to get to go on them, and that's going to be terrible, man. It's going to be terrible to see people going on the chariots, and that's all you want to do. I'm using his words, right? And all you're going to want to do is go on those chariots, and you're not going to be able to, man. Think about it, But hey, you don't care. So, do what you do. Do what you do. The Lord will pay you back for that, man. And you don't want none of it. You don't want that smoke. Bear with me, grab a drink. We're back. But hey, man, you can't get through Jake. Jake is very stubborn. All right, bullheaded. All right. But hey, all you can do is give him, laid out for him. And hey, if the Lord wants them to get it, they'll get it. If not, they won't. We're gonna close out with Matthew 19 and 17. It says, "And he said unto him, Slakia." This was red letter, it's Yahushua speaking. And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. Keep the commandments, keep the commandments, keep the commandments. You want to live? Keep the commandments. You don't want to live? Go ahead and break them all. All right, that's on you. All right, but if you want to live and you don't want to suffer a terrible judgment, all right, keep in mind you probably want to keep those. Probably want to keep those laws. You said the law won't save you. The law, it won't. All right, we're saved through grace. All right, and not of works. But what is the punishment for sin? Death. So if you're doing a whole bunch of wickedness, you're still going to get put to death. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right. So why keep the law if we're under grace? To show respect and love to the Lord. But a lot of you people just don't love the Lord, and it shows. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me the truth to rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.